Welcome to the sixth part of mechanical properties of fluids. In this part, you will learn about critical velocity, ideal fluid, and the energies possessed by a flowing fluid. The critical velocity. Critical velocity of a liquid is that limiting value of its velocity of flow up to which the flow is streamlined and above which the flow becomes turbulent. Critical velocity, denoted by V with a subscript C, of a liquid flowing through a tube depends upon eta, the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid, rho, density of the liquid, capital D, diameter of the tube. You have studied when a physical quantity depends upon another physical quantities, how to derive the formula of that quantity in the first unit by using the dimensional method. So by following that, just give a pause to the video and try to solve it for the velocity, critical velocity. Mathematically, Vc will be directly proportional to eta A, rho the power B and the capital D with power C. And when you will remove the directly sign, you will get a constant and let that constant be K. By writing the dimensions on both sides and by equating A, B and C on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side, you will get A equals to 1, B minus 1 and C minus 1. And by putting these values in the equation of last slide, you will get Vc equals to K eta rho minus 1 D minus 1. That means K eta divided by rho into D. Clearly, the critical velocity will be large if eta is large and rho d are small. So we conclude that the flow of liquids of higher viscosity and lower density through narrow pipes tends to be streamlined. And the flow of liquids of lower viscosity and higher density through broad pipe tends to be turbulent because in that case the critical velocity will be very small. Ideal fluid. The motion of real fluids is very complicated, and to understand the fluid dynamics in a simpler manner, we assume that the fluid is ideal. By ideal fluid means it is non-viscous. Non-viscous means the fluid offers no internal friction. An object moving through this fluid doesn't experience a retarding force. Incompressible. That means the density of the fluid remains constant during its flow. Its flow is steady. That means the fluid velocity at each point doesn't change with time either in magnitude or direction. Irrotational means there is no angular momentum of the fluid about any point. A very small wheel placed at any point inside such a fluid doesn't rotate about its center of mass. Energies possessed by a flowing liquid. A liquid in steady flow can have three types of energies. First one, kinetic energy. You know that kinetic energy is possessed by virtue of its motion. Formula, half mv square, where m is the mass of the liquid and v is the velocity of the liquid. Kinetic energy per unit mass. That means we have to divide half mv square by m mass. So I will get only half v square. And if I divide kinetic energy formula by weight, that means by mg, then the new name of this formula will be the velocity head, and the value will be v square by 2g. Second energy, potential energy. And the potential energy, you know that it is because of its position above the Earth's surface. Potential energy is given by mgh. Similarly, as we have done in the kinetic energy terms, find out the potential energy per unit mass and then per unit weight. You will get gh, and if you will divide by weight, then the name will be potential head, and that will be equivalent to only h. Potential energy per unit volume. mgh divided by volume, and m by v is rho, so it will be rho gh. Third one is pressure energy. The energy possessed by a liquid by virtue of its pressure is called pressure energy. As shown in the diagram, a liquid in a cylinder can drive a piston. And to move the piston, there must be some pressure. Let P be the pressure exerted by the liquid on this frictionless piston of area A. Dotted line represents the initial position of the piston, and it is moved by a distance x. And the area of cross section is A. The work done, you know that it is force into displacement, and both are in the same direction, so angle will be 0 and it will be simply F into distance, because cos 0 will be 1. Instead of force, I can write pressure into area. So P into A, and the distance is x, and A into x will be the volume swept by the piston. So this work is stored as the pressure energy of liquid of volume V. So the pressure energy of volume V will be PV, and pressure energy per unit volume will be only P, because volume will be cancelled out. Pressure energy per unit mass will be divided by mass, and you know V by M is 1 by rho, so it will be P divided by rho.